Welcome to the Cardamom Chai Podcast with Roma and Jasnoor. Hi everyone, this is Roma.
Hi everyone, this is Jasnoor. This week we're going to be talking about some of the most commonly asked questions that we're all kind of curious about. But before we get into those questions, Roma, how's your week been?
My week has been pretty good. Just, normal work stuff and then a bunch of other personal stuff that I've been working through. Just also cleaning the house and organizing some things in the house and everything as well. So yeah, I've just been into that, which is usually me. So
yeah, fair enough. You mentioned that you're doing some of the house stuff, and I know you've mentioned in the last couple of episodes that you're doing your makeover of your bedroom. How's that going? Is it done? Or you moved on to another room by now?
Yes. It was done a very long time ago. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I mentioned it a very long time ago that I was working on it. And yeah, it's all done and ready. There are frames in the bedroom which still require pictures. But other than that, the bedroom is pretty looking good. I like it. I like the vibe of that bedroom now. Yeah, but that's all done.
Have you taken on another project then?
You know what, Jasnoor? I have a very long list.
Oh my God.
I have a very long list that I just go so thoughts that I have, ideas that I have, I just keep adding it to the list. So everything from, say, the backyard thing, that I want to now work on getting the backyard all done properly. We recently got grass and fence done and everything in the backyard. Not recently, but last year sometime. So now that we have that, I want to get proper, flower beds and all these other things in the backyard. So that's one of the projects. Another thing is having a gazebo. I really like a gazebo. And I but not the one with the dome. I don't like that type. I like the one that's open from the top. Then I can hang my lights and everything on there, which is a huge thing for me. Yeah, anyway, these are the two things at the top of my head right now. Are you into buying sale items once the season is gone? Because
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a huge person in that area, because I believe that if you can buy something at a sale price, why pay full price for it? Just wait.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not super important, right? Obviously, if it's important, we're not talking illogical here. Just if it's important, yeah, sure, go buy, whatever right away, spend the money. But if it's not super important or urgent, you can always wait for the sale prices to reflect and then just purchase things there. So now, that would be looking into last year's patio furniture. That was some stock, but then I looked at some new stuff that they have in stores now as well. But okay, anyway, so that's a lot. A lot of I'm just getting overwhelmed with thoughts right now. So I'm going all over the place right now.
Yeah, but for patio furniture, I think this season you would have actually needed to buy it for the sale
last
prices.
year, I know.
Would have been September.
Yeah. I think I'm late by a few months here. I don't, yeah. Okay, not then patio stuff, but we are also gonna I also want to get camping stuff, because we want to try camping. I've never actually done camping before. I don't know if it's
yeah, you could borrow our stuff for camping, because it can get quite expensive. And I've got the tent, I've got the stove, I've got the inflatable bed.
Nice.
I've got a sleeping bag. Yeah. So you can borrow that stuff from us, because it is quite expensive, and if you don't like it, you might not want to have an investment into it.
That was another thing I was looking up for camping, is that what is included in a camping kit. I am clearly a very ancient person who doesn't know camping shit, but I want to learn more about it, and that's why I was looking more into that and seeing what encompasses a camping kit.
Yeah, I get it. I think there's a lot of lists out there for sure. But what you have to be really conscious is, what do you need out there in the wilderness that you cannot live without?
Right.
And some camping sites have washrooms and some do not have washrooms.
Yeah.
Or running water. So you really have to think about all of that. We've camped a few times, so I have a couple of experiences, but we've never done it where there's no running water. I think that's the biggest thing, is that you want to make sure there's some water available and a bathroom situation.
Getting that sorted. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll keep your offer in mind of using your stuff if needed.
Yeah, definitely let me know.
Yes, but other than that, I actually also did my small gardening starting thing. I don't know how to explain that, but you know how I remember I mentioned that I got some seedlings, right? So I got some seeds of flowers and everything. And then I got this, it's a long rectangular box sort of thing with holes in it, where you can put a little bit of wet soil and put some seeds in it and everything for it to start growing. And then you can put that in a bigger pot so that part I have started. So I want to see how that goes this year, because I really like the idea of gardening. Just need to get more into it. I'm liking this, Jasnoor, because of this podcast. I get to really think about what I like, what I don't like, what I say I'll do but I never do, the things that I never say I'll do but I end up doing them. So I like that.
Nice.
Yes. So that was my week. How about you?
For me, it's been kind of hectic with work again. It seems to come in waves. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not so busy. So it's quite busy right now, and I think it'll taper off in a couple of days as well, so it won't be as busy. But then end of April will be busy until mid-May is actually when it will stop being busy, and it won't get busy for a little bit. And I usually take vacation right after May 15th is the date that I have in mind. So I usually take vacation during that time, and this year we're trying to see what we can do, especially with my son not being really comfortable being in a car for a long time.
Okay, yeah.
So in the past we've done Vancouver, Kelowna, we've done Jasper and Victoria.
Banff, Canmore, Lake Louise.
Yeah, those are just a weekend thing. Those aren't that's just on a weekend we'll go. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll go to Golden, because that's not too far away.
Yeah, Golden. Revelstoke is... Remember Revelstoke?
Yeah, Revelstoke is a great place. The mountain coaster in Revelstoke is one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So we actually mentioned this trip in one of the past episodes where we all went to Kelowna, and so Revelstoke comes on the way to Kelowna, and so you can if you left early, if you're going from Calgary, and if you left early in the morning around 6-7 or something, you could get to Revelstoke by noon or something. So in that case, you can spend some time in Revelstoke, and there's as Jasnoor mentioned, there's some ride type of thing that I was also terrified with, but now that I think about it, I'm that would have been so much fun had I enjoyed it properly. But I was too scared for it. But now if I do that, I would actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you will.
But anyway,
so we're trying to see what we can do for this time around, because my husband always takes that time off as well. He knows that that's when I'll be free, and we can catch up as a family or do something fun together.
Right.
So I'm trying to come up with some things. Maybe we'll go to Toronto or Quebec, because that's Quebec. I've never been to Quebec yet, so I do want to see Quebec, but I don't know how well my son will do, so we'll have to figure that out.
Has he ever been on a flight before?
No, he has not. We've never traveled with him anywhere. I think the longest we've gone with him is to Drumheller. So that's the furthest we've ever taken him is Drumheller, And he was fine because he just slept on the way there and slept on the way back. And there was a lot of people in the car. We took like a 7-seater, 8-seater. And there was like my parents, there was my husband's parents, my brother, and my son, obviously. So all of us were in one car going there. And so he was fully occupied. But we'll see. Maybe we'll do Golden and see how that turns out with him.
Yeah. Montreal and Quebec, very pretty.
Yeah.
We've been there and we commuted between them through train.
Yeah.
That was one of the best things, yeah.
Nice.
Because on that side of Canada, they have trains connecting cities and states and everything. So that was nice. But very pretty area.
Yeah.
And it's only like a 4-hour flight, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to go to Quebec at some point. I don't know if that will be like a family trip or just me and my husband. But that's it for my kind of update for you guys for the week. Should we get into our episode?
Yes, so we ended up looking at some things on Reddit, and I came across some questions as well, which I thought were very intriguing, that I wanted to sort of discuss about on this episode. They're not serious questions. They're very like fun questions, hopefully. And you know, these questions have like lots of comments on it and likes and everything. So I assume that it's a popular area of discussion or a question. So one of the things I came across was people who don't hit snooze in the morning. What is your secret?
Do you hit snooze in the morning?
Bro, it's like for a whole hour. Not once, not twice, not 5 times. It's for an hour every 5 minutes. It's bad.
Oh my God.
It's bad. It's really bad. It shouldn't be like, I know my heart knows that that's bad. But my heart doesn't listen to my brain, or my brain is too sleepy in the morning to do anything about that. So I oh man, like I don't know. So one of the comments on there is hearing the alarm again in 10 minutes is more annoying than just getting up. Isn't logical? Makes sense.
Okay, so my perspective on it is I've never hit the snooze button.
What?
I hate the snooze button. I absolutely hate it.
But like, wait, I have a question on that though. Okay, how do you just like wake up like first time the alarm? You okay? Because that's inhuman. No. I don't know if anyone can do that.
That's my husband.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, one alarm is all he needs.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I've never used a snooze button, but what I will do is turn off the alarm
and then sleep.
I will completely turn it off and go to sleep. So I have to set like 10 alarms. I think because snooze is not an option for me.
I think I'm confusing then snooze with like multiple alarms, because I do have multiple alarms on, and in the mornings I don't know which button I'm pressing. There's like there's 3 buttons, literally 3 physical buttons that you can press on iPhones now. Out of the 3, I'm pressing one of them. That's all I know in the morning. So it's either a snooze or like a second alarm that I've set that's playing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've never hit the snooze button. I don't know. I think I have an allergic reaction to the snooze button. I'm like, I'm not hitting that. I don't want you going off again, even though I've set an alarm for 10 minutes later.
Oh man, this one is hard though. I know, because I started putting. So previously I used to put the phone by the bedside, which is bad, is what I learned. So I'm like, okay, I'll put it a bit further. It's also good for me, because then I get up and, you know, that wakes me up a little bit, so I won't fall asleep again. But no, bro, like I go all the way. I walk to the table, grab my phone as I'm walking back. I hit the snooze button and I fall right back.
Oh my God.
And yeah, my husband, he used to be the type of person who would wake up. Or at least like sit on the bed and not fall like down again to sleep. At least sit, okay? He would be up at least. But now he got a level ahead of me. He started putting the phone outside the room. He walks all the way outside the room to go pick up the phone, comes right back and falls asleep again.
Oh my God, you made him worse.
I didn't make him worse. He just happened to be like that. He learned that on his own. But I could have very possibly done that to him. But
yeah. No, I think my thing is I'm a heavy sleeper, so I will shut off the alarm in my sleep. And my husband absolutely hates my alarm is going off 10 times within a half an hour, because he will wake up from my alarm clock even though it's on my side of the bed, and he's like, can you shut that up? So he becomes my alarm clock. Yeah. Oh man, I don't understand people who don't hit snooze or set multiple alarms. And that's my husband, so I don't understand him at all.
Okay, let me read some of the comments on here. Okay. They sound a bit funny. So one of the person who's commented, they've got 17,000 likes, okay? This person is saying, I just set my alarm for the exact time I need to wake up. It's called living on the edge.
Oh my God, that is insane.
I mean, honestly, I think that would work because that if I don't wake up at this time, I will definitely be late. I know that, right? So then you have no other option but to wake up.
That is true. But what happens when you're really tired and you're like, you know what, just let me shut my eyes for 2 more seconds.
2 minutes.
And I'll wake up, and what happens is you do not wake up, and then it's an hour later and you're late for work.
Yep. Alarm clocks, that sound really makes me angry though in the mornings.
Oh, I have birds. I have birds as my birds twittering as my alarm clock, because I don't want any harsh noises in the morning. If I wasn't a mom, I would still be using the harsh sounds. But it's changed me so much that I just want something soft because I'll wake up anyway.
I have tried with good melodies in the past, but I then grow to hate those melodies. That's what happens to me.
Yes.
So even if it's a softer thing, you just grow to hate them instead of going oh, this is so sweet sound, let me wake up. No, you just go can you just shut up now? I can't. But anyway, this is one of the... You know what else it could be? Is if a person would eat late at night or eat a lot at night, I think then your body just gets so tired and working throughout the night to digest that your body doesn't fully get the sleep or rest that it should get. And this is a non-doctor, no degree, no knowledge, nothing here speaking. So please don't take my word for it. But that's what I would assume. At least my body would work like that. So I'm saying that based on that.
Yeah, fair enough. Most people do eat late.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever works at whatever age too, right? Not at every age. Younger, we used to eat crap and, fall asleep big and be fine with it. But now as you're getting older, you can't eat everything and you have to eat healthy, and there's just too much stress to be thinking about healthy and all those things every day.
It is. So Roma, what's something that most people don't realize is actually really hard to do?
I would probably have a very deep philosophical answer for this question.
Yeah.
So what you are not good at that you are trying to do for the sake of learning or bettering yourself or for somebody else is actually a very hard thing to do, and not everyone can recognize it. So for example, if I know cooking, but if you don't know cooking, okay, for me cooking is a very just such an easy task. I know it, I like it, I know it inside out, I'm the expert at it. So obviously it's such an easy thing for me to do. But you not knowing it, you are learning it and you are putting effort in it, and then you are cooking it even though it doesn't turn out perfect, right? It's a hard thing to do. I think I'm sounding very generic here.
You are.
Say, imagine, how last week we were talking about ladies who you are career oriented versus women who are work from home ladies, right? So work from home ladies, they like that life, and they prefer that life. That's the ideal world, right? Where a career woman is, because she is ambitious and she's free to do that, and she her external situation is allowing her. Anyway, when we talked about that, imagine there's a career focused woman, okay, but her situations in her life has basically forced her to stay at home and cook for the family, take care of the kids, and she doesn't even know how to cook. She's not the super most feminine person, or she's not the most nurturing person in that sense, like in a motherly sense. But she spent her whole life, trying to like do those things for the family and everything, let go of her career and everything, whatever ambitions she would have had in life. But like, she wouldn't have been like the best of mother, because that wasn't the best, like she wasn't good at it to begin with, right? It's not a natural thing for her to begin with, but she put so much effort into like learning, and she's great, like she's become great at cooking, and she's putting all her effort into it. So for anyone else who's a stay-at-home mom, to them this lady is not that good. But the fact that she was never good at it, but she put all her energy into like developing all those things, and try to like compete with the other side of ladies who are really good at this naturally, right? Like, I think I'm trying to say that having a natural talent versus developing a talent. To develop something that you don't have is actually much harder than you think. So when we try to like criticize someone, only if we know their background and where they came from to be at this position that we are criticizing, if we know that, like they were never good at this, but they put so much effort into it to get to like a level, like 3 out of 5. But those who were really good at it, they were naturally already at level 4.5 out of 5, and they put a little bit effort and they got 5 out of 5. But this lady who was like 0 out of 5 put so much effort and got to a 3 out of 5, which is still more progress than those who were naturally good at it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Like if you're not naturally good at something, it's going to take you so much longer to get good at that at all.
And I think so then in that case, people who put more effort should deserve more appreciation and success, as opposed to those who don't put so much effort but they're just naturally good, right? So the people on the receiving end, they don't see, right, like the effort or anything. They just see what they're getting, whether they're getting the best of service 5 out of 5 or whether they're getting 3 out of 5 service, right?
But it's hard to know if someone does have natural talent or not. So someone on the outside could never know that someone's trying very hard, or just someone is really good at it naturally.
That's what I think is something that most people don't realize is actually really hard to do. That's my answer. Anyways.
Okay. Well, I actually had a pretty simple one. I was gonna say maintaining friendships. I think it's actually very hard to maintain friendships throughout your life. So when you're younger, it's easy to maintain friendships because you're with each other all the time. You have the time and the energy to put towards that friendship. But as you grow older and you have family and you have a kid or multiple kids, and you wanting to spend time with your in-laws as well as your parents' family or whatever, and your siblings and their families, you just don't have time to put in an effort into maintaining friendships. And I see a lot of people having surface level friendships where they're like, we get together, do this, and that's it. There's no like really deep connection there. And I see that happening. So meaningful, deep friendships are very, very hard to maintain. And there's like a lot of podcasts that like talk about that, they prioritize their friendships a lot more. and like they're well into their 30s, 40s, and they've had like really, really great group of friends. Specifically, I'm talking about women. They might have a boyfriend, they might be married, but they don't have kids, and they're mostly white, so they don't spend a lot of their time with their families. They might spend their holidays with families, whereas like us Indian people, our whole life is family, pretty much. So if you try to maintain a friendship, it's really hard to do because, well, you've got to think about relatives and parents and your kids and all those, their extracurricular activities. Are they getting enough entertainment? Are they getting enough education? Are they doing a lot of that stuff? Parents, I think, would struggle the most with friendships. And then even when they're grown up, like, I think you just spend a lot more time with family in our community than to maintain friendships. You can only maintain those friendships if you let go of other relationships in your life. So people say, oh yeah, having friends is easy, like you just get together, but I don't think it's that easy.
Yeah, I agree with you on some of the things, because having that one-on-one friendship, like having just like, like me and my friends, that definitely would be gone once you have a lot of other things going on in life. But then that's where the low maintenance friends come, right? That like you don't really need to maintain them, like they're just there, right? Like there is no like a favor type of friendships. It's just like a naturally there people that you can fall back on if needed. Like if you would be able to call them in the middle of the night and they would be there to help you. I think I don't really think you need to really maintain any friendships like that if you both are on the same page. But you are right that like once you are married, or if you have a child and family and everything, it is very difficult for us to like hang out as like as just like two friends. It becomes a rare situation. It's doable, but it does become a rare situation, right? And like if we were to compare it with like man's friendships, isn't it normally just like friends, like family friends type of thing that happens, right? Like, okay, you have a kid and your in-laws and everything, and if I have the same thing, then we like just hang out as a family sort of thing, right? Like that's what it ends up being, just because we're just not the type of people, like we could be if we wanted to, but that's just not our nature, is to like hang out with a group of friends, especially knowing that there's like 4 people relying on us for various reasons at home right now, either physically or mentally or for any other reasons. They're relying on us, and then us like going outside and like spending time with like friends and stuff. That's just not something that we need to do. I think there's a need for that type of a friendship, and I don't know what that need is. That's what I think, is that it's just you are right, like it's difficult to maintain, but that's why it's important to have low maintenance friendships.
yeah
So
all right, that was quite a deep question we've got into.
yes. Can I read like some of the things I'm reading on Reddit right now?
Yeah, let's do that.
One person saying fixing your mental health, it's not a light switch, which I agree with. It's true.
No, that's really a tough place to come out of.
Because it's not a one-day thing. It's like a constant effort. People take months to years even to try to get better. Someone else is saying doing a genuinely good job of raising a child.
Yeah, that is hard. I don't think anyone does a great job of raising a child, because even if you try your best, you will mess up somewhere, somehow. I think it's just best to strive for your best rather than perfection.
I agree. As long as your intentions are good, even though you ended up traumatizing your kids along the way, eventually they do come out of it knowing that your intentions were never bad. Like you never meant to hurt them. It's just nature of life. Okay, someone else is saying being quiet when someone else is talking and not interrupting them. That's something I can learn when you are talking. Like half the time I'm like interrupting you and like talking over you and everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. Is when someone else is talking, they're thinking about what to say rather than listening to the other person. I think a lot of us do that all the time. Just not great listening skills.
No. And it's good this person, I don't know if it's with gender, but this person is acknowledging that. I've never had or heard anyone acknowledge things like that. So, oh, someone else is saying leave a long-term marriage.
Oh, that is tough, and I don't think anyone will say that's easy.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's that question. The next thing I have here is, what did you think was normal until other people pointed it out, Jasnoor? Holy. Wet versus dry holy.
Oh my god. I talked to my mom about the holy thing.
And what did she say?
So to recap for you guys who didn't listen to the episode, I was under the impression that there was 1 year you did wet holy, which is like with water, and you shoot water each other, pretty much like a water fight. And other years it was a dry one, so you just throw powdered colors at each other. No, so that was not a thing. That was definitely not a thing. And how they actually decided whether it was wet or dry was if it was cold, then it wouldn't be wet because you would get a cold. So if it was cold weather, we got the powdered version. But if it wasn't cold, you could do both. There wasn't a limit, but apparently in my head.
So did they like call each other up and like try to confirm that this is what we're telling the kids this year or something?
No, I think it's just like when people realize, oh, it's cold. It's not good for kids to, like we were little kids. It's not good for little kids to be drenched in water in the cold weather.
Smart, very smart.
Yeah. So, and we lived in North India, so it gets a little bit colder. Than most of India. So, I get it. It makes sense. But I literally thought it was like 1 year or the other. Okay, so actually, what I thought was normal and not for me actually would be, whenever I'm walking somewhere, I count my steps. So I'm like going anywhere and like I'm counting my steps. I'm like, okay, this is how many steps it takes for me to get somewhere.
Okay. And
if I'm going up the stairs, I'm counting the stairs. If I'm putting on clothes, so I'm like 1 arm in, 1. The second arm in, 2. Shirt over my head, 3. Done. Yeah. I count a lot of things, and I don't think that a lot of people do that.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I don't know, but the clothes counting thing is the coolest weird thing I've ever heard. I've never heard that.
And I do it, so every piece of clothing I put on is a 3. So pants, 1, leg in, 1. The second leg in, 2. And then up my bum, 3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I only do that when I'm in a rush. So like when I'm like getting up in the morning, getting ready in the morning to go to work. That's when I notice that I'm doing it. But if I'm like taking my time and actually getting like dressed up and everything for like something special, I don't. But I do that like when I'm putting on my pajamas. I will do that as well. Yeah.
I don't like, that's the true accountant, Jasnoor. You are a true numbers person. That's what it would mean.
I have no idea why I do this. It is maybe a really weird thing.
And you just figure it out on your own that this is probably not a normal thing.
Yeah, I kind of clued in when I was like, do people ever count? Other people ever count? And I like just would notice other people, and I don't think they counted. They're just not paying attention. So I don't think most people do that.
I would probably get so distracted by the things and everything. Anyway, but you know what I count though is when I'm walking, it's not counting, but it's more like, how there's like on our sidewalks, there's pavemented.
Always step over the cracks or the spaces.
Yeah, exactly. exact middle of the foot as well. And if that doesn't happen, it does something to my brain for like a few seconds.
No. You step on the crack?
Yeah.
I avoid it.
Really?
So my foot never touches a gap.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I always make sure that my foot is on the my foot is breaking the crack from the middle of my foot every time.
Oh my.
That's what I do.
No, mine's like never step on it. Skip
Ah.
it. So I have to time my steps accordingly. So every time I get to like a gap, I step over it.
Interesting. That's the opposite. Okay, tell us more weird things you're doing, Jasnoor.
Oh my god. I don't know what other things am I doing weird. I always rip the skin off of my lips if it's dry.
Oh,
I cannot stand it, and I will rip the skin off of my lips until it's all smooth and clean, and even if I'm bleeding by the end.
Bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Chopsticks? No.
Yeah, after all this dead skin is peeled off, or the dry flaky skin, then I'll put on a chapstick on smooth lips. Yeah. What about you, Roma? Okay, now it's your turn.
Something that I thought was normal, but it wasn't really normal until someone pointed it out to me. I stress a lot in life, right?
Yes.
So when I notice something that's not why do I always have such a hard time explaining my thoughts? They are there. I know what I'm thinking. I just can't explain them. Okay. So for example, like you have said this to me. That's how I got to know. So not other people. You pointed it out. So that's how I knew. I worry about things that are not something to worry about because I overthink. So you have pointed this out in the past that if this was such a big deal, like if I'm like worried about health, or if we are, say for example, we were in Kelowna and I would be worried about, this zip line breaking or something, right? You would tell me that if it was so easy to break, then something would have been done about that. And now I get similar type of advice from my husband, is that if it was that big of a deal, then something would have been done about that already out there. Like it would have been such a big news, and it would have been a big thing and everything. So how we talked about aliens past episodes, and that UFO versus UAP thing and all that. If it was such a big deal, then people would know about it. It's like finding cure of cancer. Everyone would know about it. Like if someone found it, right? Like, so so that's one way I calm myself now whenever I get stressed is if it was that big of a deal, then like the fact that so many people are doing it is probably safe, although that's not the best answer. Just because everyone is doing it doesn't make it the right thing or anything, but in most cases it does work when it's like, okay, a lot of people are doing it or behaving in a certain way, or trusting so and so ride or so and so thing, so it's fine. Like it's probably a doable thing. But no, I remember, like, as a university student, I used to get a lot of shocks, mainly from my friends, in terms of the things that I would think is normal, but wouldn't be normal. And I would be told in a very sympathetically pity type of way by my friends that I would just be like, man, like how dumb could I be, that they just have to go like, you don't have to, like, you don't think of it like this, you don't have to think like this is how it is. I don't know, I just have this feeling that I used to be one of those friends actually in university who would be very naive, very just don't know anything, just keeping, my head down all the time and like not knowing things about my surroundings. And, I was one of those. So I've had a lot of times people around me tell me things that they would notice about me, and they'd be like, you don't like, that's not everyone does that, so you don't have to, sort of thing. I don't have any examples at the top of my head, but
what I can remember is that you were pretty naive, and we did expose you to a lot of things. And but I think that came from you being, like, I thought of it as you being so nice of a person that you are overlooking a lot of things, and you just thought the best of everyone, right?
Yeah.
Which is a quality that I don't necessarily have.
I mean, bro, even if you have that quality, life beats that shit out of you anyway.
It
so
does.
you sort of have to let that go at some point. Be like, bro,
Yeah.
just grow up. You keep getting slapped from the other side. Just grow up now. It's fine. Like, be a bitch sometimes. It's fine.
Yeah. 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 There's a lot of things that people do that some of the comments that I was taking a look at was someone saying that I grew up assuming all dads beat up their wives and kids. I disliked every dad of all my friends just because of that principle, and assumed that everyone was doing it.
Wow.
Even the dads that were nice to me, and I thought, yeah, right.
Oh my God.
The second I leave, the real you will come out. Yeah, no kidding. But then they realize that it's just his dad. It's not everyone. And that's a tough way to live a childhood.
Yeah, yep.
Practicing a conversation in your head before having it.
I think that's normal. A lot of people do that.
But
I do that.
Yeah, but they're saying not the hard talks. Just even when the conversation you're having, just like shooting the shit with someone, or also imagining someone asking you a question and answering that question in detail in your head. So they're saying every single conversation, even if it's like a conversation between us. But yeah, I think most people, like, for anything that they're like concerned about and worried about, most people have a conversation with themselves. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna say. This is, if they say that, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, you just want to be prepared for all kinds of situations or answers that come from the other side.
Yeah. Someone said apparently some people are confused and surprised that others can visualize images in their heads. Can you visualize images in your head, Roma? I can too.
Oh, yeah.
I can. That's why I love reading books, because there's a movie in my head. But some people, there's no image in their minds. Like
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Some people just see the word. That's it. Like and it's called aphantasia, I think. It's actually a thing where people just like, if you say an apple, all you can see in your head is an apple, like a red shining apple. They'll just see the word written out as apple, but not a picture of an apple.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's a new concept.
Yeah, so if you describe something to them, they might not be able to get it.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, I'm a fairly visual person. That's why I hate watching scary movies or anything, because then the visuals stay in my head and then they can't let me sleep at night. But that's different. I can visualize.
Yeah, I think most people can. Some people can't, which is a scary thought. Like, what if I can't see the apple in my head? Come on, I want to see the apple in my... I think I wouldn't enjoy books as much. I would not.
Makes sense. That's why some people don't prefer reading. Like, reading just... Maybe they can't really translate the words into images in their head at that time. Makes sense.
Yeah, they can translate it into like images, but they'll still know what the story is and going on. So it's not as fun for them. Because for me, it's a lot of fun. Should we do one last one?
Okay, let's do it.
What choices you see people making with their lives that you would never make?
There's a lot of things actually that I wouldn't do. So one of the things that I'm thinking of right now is, this is gonna be so related and interconnected with like a 2 or 3 other things. Is I cannot test people to see what their intentions are towards me, and I can't like when people test other people to find what their intentions are and everything. I would never do anything like that. I've seen other people do that to me or to other people. And yeah, so that's one thing. Yeah, oh man, there were like two other things I had related with this one that I forgot now. Giving people the same medicine as what they gave you. So basically like treating them the same way as they treated you. Although that thought is, it's a needed thing sometimes in lives.
Yeah.
But I think in my simple world, I think it's too much for me to behave in that sense. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so deep today somehow. But I think so that would be a couple of things that I wouldn't opt to do on my own, is basically treat them the same way. For me, it's easier to just not waste my time and walk away, or be the upper person and like, be nicer, like finish things off in a nicer way and move on, rather than try to like show them, like, like basically like, give them the result of their own karma, like consequences of their own karma by yourself, because I believe that it's not in my hands to give them the consequences of their karma. They should receive it through God or through universe or whoever the higher power is.
Yeah.
So I don't prefer to do that on my own. And I see a lot of people do that, take that in their hands and try to give them a punishment for their actions and all.
Yeah.
But I think that would drop. Honestly, there are a few reasons why I don't do that. One, it's too much for me, too much work for me, too much effort for me to like go behind someone to do that.
Yeah.
Another, I've noticed the pattern of my life is, I get karma right back. So, I try to keep it clean. And third is about class. Like, you don't want to drop down to their level and try to show them what level they are at. It's better if you show them what an amazing person that they would have lost in you.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
No, I really like that sentiment, that you don't punish them. I think I almost have the same approach, as in, if someone's done something negatively towards me, my first reaction is to not associate with them anymore. I wouldn't try to punish them. I mean, I'd probably treat them the same way I've been treated, which is not what you would do. But I wouldn't go out of my way to punish them or anything like that. I just kind of dissociate with them, because they're not worth my effort, because they've shown the type of person they are. And, they can live their life how they want to. I'm not going to be a part of it. But I totally get that sentiment of it's too much work. But what I can see, one thing that I would never do, that I see a lot of people doing, is take on credit card debt to buy so many things and go on vacations and buy these like expensive cars, expensive clothes. Like, I would never do that, and I don't understand why people do that. Like, that you're just shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. And I don't understand how people can just live with no savings. I just don't understand why people are like fine when they have no money.
I don't know if people, like, how many people would do that, or is it like a big thing or not. It is
surprisingly. I've been watching this YouTuber called Caleb Hammer, and he does financial audit. And he just has people over on his show and assesses their financial situation. It's just people with like tons and tons of debt, who just use credit cards to live off the lifestyle they want to live off of, but they're just like drowning in debt. And what he said is that most people are like dying in credit card debt. Like, most people that you see, because I can tell from people like what their jobs are, what kind of money they can afford. If they have like, family wealth, that's another thing. You can tell if they do or not. And then you're like, how are you affording this huge house, this brand new car, and you're going on all these trips and you're buying the most expensive outfits and everything. Even with my own life experiences with like people that I know, that my husband knows and everything, there are people in credit card debt, or they've just taken money from their friends or family or their parents or what have you. And they owe people so much money, and it's just wild to see that. And I'm like, I've made a lot of sacrifices in my own wants and lives just so I have a good financial future. I just can't fathom the idea of not having the security.
Yeah, 100% on it. Because I think for us, Jasnoor, because we have studied accounting, I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No, because I've seen accountants on this show. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is not a thing of. I think what the biggest issue is, credit cards allow people to make purchases without having the money, and then credit card companies make it so easy. They're like, oh, you can pay the minimum monthly amount, which is like $100 a month, and they're like, yeah, I can afford it. I can pay $100 a month for like the next 5 years, no biggie, right? So they justify everything like that. And even like buying a brand new car, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna have to pay like $200 every 2 weeks for this brand new car. But then they realize like that actually, if you buy a brand new car, you lose a lot of value of the car in the first like couple months.
No, I totally agree with you on that. Without financial security, like it's hard to stay sane. Like I would rather not have the dress that I really, really like than to have to go to somebody for money. Like that's like the way I think is, it's probably gonna sound frugal, but if I have $100, then I would feel comfortable spending $20. Like otherwise it's just so like it's just like that's the type of financial, like percentage wise, if you think like that's the kind of financial security that a person should have. It's just a smart choice, right? Like there's also those videos of, I think, Dave Ramsey on Instagram and all these places.
Yeah, I think he's the other one.
And so I sometimes come across his reels and everything on Instagram, and he basically says the same thing. He's like, credit cards, like why? Like it's money you don't have. You shouldn't be spending money you don't have. Like how could you be spending money from future? What if you drop dead tomorrow? There is no future left anymore, right? So that plus I have seen people using credit cards as if like it's free money or like a free, like, oh, like nothing is going out of the bank right now sort of thought process.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Okay, I see like one thing here, posting every aspect of their lives on social media. I cannot do that. Even opening up on this podcast has been like work for me. And forget like posting everything on social media. But there are people who live on social media.
Yeah, I'm just like, if we put ourselves out there, all you get is judgment. I'm like, I've had enough of that judgment. You really don't need it.
I think for me, like each year, my social media account gets smaller and smaller because I do like a detox cleanup of my followers and me following people and all.
I realized my relationship with social media was bad when I was like, when we had Facebook and everyone's birthday would show up and you put posts on everyone's wall, and every year I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for everyone to post on my Facebook wall for my birthday. And then every year I would be so obsessed with that. And I'm like, one year it kind of clicked into my head. I'm like, but this is meaningless. Like, this is like someone just like without a thought just typing in happy birthday, and I'm getting so much joy out of it. I rather have people, if they remember, great, wish me happy birthday. But if they are getting reminders like by Facebook, not by themselves, and they're just meaninglessly just commenting and saying happy birthday, right? That's not what I want to get a joy out of it. So I removed my birthday from Facebook, and after that I haven't looked back. Like I'll post a picture here and there, but that's it. Like I don't derive joy from posting on social media, getting comments and likes anymore, ever since I realized that.
And see, that's the reason why we are actually the luckiest generation, because we got to experience both worlds. We got to experience the world without social media and phones and everything, and we got to see this side of the world where we were basically the guinea pigs, right? Like we were the experimental generation with this whole thing, and we did find so much pleasure into it at the beginning, but then as we grew older, we got like older, and we were able to analyze life more in terms of comparing it with our past lives in before phones and everything, comparing it with right now, and realizing what actually is meaningful and what could be technically useful, right? Like social media and stuff could be used for other purposes, like how we use it for our podcast, and for that reason it's good to spread positivity, or to use it for your business purposes, then it's good, but not really for your personal life. I don't think it shouldn't be. I mean, it shouldn't really be for that. What else am I seeing is $1,000 per month perpetual lease on a vehicle. I don't understand people who buy brand new cars. Unless you have like literally cash, like loads of cash sitting with you that you can write a check for and submit, and not have like be done with paying the full amount like right there and then. I don't think buying a new car is like, it shouldn't even be a want. Like it's definitely not a need. It shouldn't even be a want for a lot of people, honestly.
No, I totally don't understand why people do that. Then when they don't have the money, buy a vehicle or just lease a vehicle. And I've seen people pay $1,000 per month for a leased vehicle that you're never going to own. And it's just wild to me, because every car I've purchased, it's been with cash. And I don't like monthly payments. No. Even the property tax, you know how people can do a monthly payment. I was like, no, I'm paying it off upfront. Even insurance, it's all paid upfront. Because I don't like monthly payments.
Yeah, no, makes sense,
There's one that says staying with a partner that you hate. That is something that I could never do either. Like if I'm spending my whole life with a partner and I hate them, like that is a terrible, terrible life. Like what am I doing here? I'd rather leave the relationship and just live single forever than be stuck in a relationship or a marriage that I hate the person. That would be so miserable.
100%. I wonder if people do that. Like I wonder if people do that on purpose, or are they like so blindly in love or something, or like just under the foot of a narcissist or something, that they're not realizing that this is not really love for them and they're like just a slave to somebody? Or are they feeling pity towards the other person? Is that why they would be staying? Like,
I think there's a few factors. Like someone might be like too lazy.
What?
For
what? Lazy to do what? To live a good life?
To leave. Because it takes a lot of effort to leave, to untangle yourself from someone. They're like, you know what, good enough. But then there might be some people who are just totally dependent on their partners for everything. So they can't leave at that point. There's people that don't leave because of their kids. There's a ton of reasons that why someone might not leave. And I think there's no good enough reason for me to make me stay. All right, should we call it quits on this episode?
Yes.
So, Roma, what have you been loving this week? Real quick, speed fire.
Yes. So this week I am gonna pick my herbal teas. There's a bunch. Okay, there's there's those normal ones, the turmeric and ginger combined and things like that.
Yeah.
But then recently I've also tried hibiscus and rose one.
Those are good.
It tastes exactly like rose, like you're
Yeah.
just drinking rose water or something.
Yeah.
You don't taste hibiscus at all. I mean, not that I know how it would taste like, but I taste rose so much. And that is divine. But you know what, I'm switching back, or not back, but like I'm switching from like bag herbal teas to like leaves, like open
Okay.
herbal teas. There's
Okay.
a word for it.
Loose leaf.
Yeah, loose leaf tea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can put them in like those one of those like filtering, the strainer. Yeah, one of those strainers, and then put that in the hot water and everything.
Yeah.
And but I am a huge like herbal tea type of a person. I'm not a huge coffee person, even though I have an espresso machine at home. I might be a latte person, but not a coffee person. But otherwise, loose leaf teas are like my go-to. Like that's what I would like gravitate towards in the mornings or at nights. If I'm looking for warm water that tastes like something, then herbal teas is it for me.
That's a good option. I really do enjoy teas, any shape or kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be really quick with mine, and I'm loving walking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So in the winter months, we don't get out much because it's cold and miserable. But I have a treadmill at home, so I've been trying to walk more, and I feel so much better when I actually have a walk in. So I'm really hoping for weather to turn around soon, so I can do outside walks. But I've been really loving it for my mental and physical health, and maybe I'll get into running again. We'll see, but taking it slow day by day and walking instead.
Walking is definitely very beneficial. I feel very refreshed after I walk. Whether it's like brisk walking in the kitchen and in the living room, or whether it's like walking on incline, like there are two different things, but either way, like walking is a good thing. I like it. Hopefully the weather gets better.
I think next week, after this late snowstorm has passed us, it'll be good. All right. That's everything we have for this week for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, on social media at Cardamom Chai Podcast. And if you have any questions, or if you want us to answer something on the podcast, you can reach out to us at cardamomchaipodcast@gmail.com.
And we post a new episode every Thursdays on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. So make sure to find us there.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.